Okay, so in this video, I want to talk to you about how to find surface area. So let's find the surface area of a rectangular prism with length 5 centimeters, width 2, and height 24 centimeters. We're going to draw and label this figure as well. So the height's 24, so I know it's pretty high, 24 centimeters. The length is 5 centimeters. Again, not really drawn to scale here. And the width is 2 centimeters. All right, now the surface area formula for a rectangular prism. A rectangular prism is just like a box. If you think about putting wrapping paper or covering the box, you have to cover all 6 sides exactly. So if you think about this panel right here, that's just, or the top, that's just length times width. But then you also have the bottom that has the same dimensions. So you have 2 length times width. And then you have 2 length times height. That would be the front panel and the back panel. So 2 times length times height. Plus, and then you also have width times heights, which would be this right side. So 2 times the 24. And you'd have 2 of those. So 2 times the width times the height. So with the numbers here, you'd have 2 times 5 times 2 plus 2 times 5 times 24 plus 2 times 2 times 24. If you multiply those out, you would have 20 plus 240 plus 96, which gives you 356. Now let's talk about units. For each of these, you're multiplying 2 of the dimensions at a time. So you would have centimeters times centimeters. So you'd have 20 centimeters squared, 240 centimeters squared, 96 centimeters squared. So your units are centimeters squared. And if you think about what you're finding surface area. It's the area of the surface that covers whatever the geometric solid is. So it makes sense that the units would be units squared. All right, let's do another one. A cylinder with a height of 14 feet and a radius of 15. So if we draw this, you have a height of 14 feet and a radius of 5 feet. Now let's talk about the surface area here. The surface area is going to be the amount to cover around the can, but also the top and the bottom. If you took a can and you cut the label on it and laid it flat, would it not look like a rectangle if you cut the label off? And this would correspond to the height, but this side would correspond to the distance around the bottom or around the top of the can, which is the circumference, and that's 2 pi r. So the area around a can is 2 pi r h. But that's not all that's there when you want to cover the can. You also have the top and the bottom, which are both circles. The area of a circle is pi r squared and pi r squared. So the formula is going to be 2 pi RH. That is the surface area around, sometimes referred to as the lateral surface area. That's their area around the can, plus 2 of the top, two circles, which make the top and the bottom of the can. So for our can, it's going to be 2 pi times the radius, which is 5, times the height, 14, plus 2 pi times the radius, which is 5, squared. So 5 times 2 times 5 times 14 is going to give you 140 pi, plus 5 squared is 25 times 2 is going to give you 50 pi. So the answer would be 190 pi. And again, since it's area, it's going to be units squared. So feet squared, don't forget the units. And that makes sense since when we multiply it here, this is really 5 feet times 14 feet. This 2 is just from the formula. And this 5 here was feet, but we squared it, 5 feet squared. If you put it into your calculator with calculator pi, the decimal would be 596.9026 feet squared. Okay, so this is the exact answer. This is the decimal answer using calculator pi. And then you can round as directed if you need to. All right, guys, hopefully that was helpful to you with calculating surface area. Take care.